Okay, good morning, everybody. Today we'll be speaking on the arrests made in the Washington and Old Dominion Trail cases. We have Executive Deputy Chief of Police Brian Riley here, and speaking on the case today is Lieutenant Ryan Laziski, Assistant Commander of the Violent Crime Division, to provide an update and take a few questions. And I'll have Lieutenant Laziski open us up.
Can you pull that?
Right.
Yeah, as close to you as you possibly can.
Right there?
Great, perfect, thank you.
You're welcome. Hello, everyone, and thank you for being here today. I am proud to announce this morning that Fairfax County and the town of Herndon are safer communities today than they were just a few days ago. Over the last 2 months, a predator victimized over a dozen people and shook an entire community. The Washington and Old Dominion Trail is a 45-mile paved trail that runs from Shirlington to Percyville. It's a route for cyclists, runners, dog walkers, and families. Since the first case was reported on July 15th, the Fairfax County Police Department has worked an intense joint investigation with the Herndon Police Department to identify and capture a predator who has been assaulting and exposing himself to members of our community. The strong partnership with Herndon PD pointed detectives from both jurisdictions in the direction of a wanted individual as the suspect in these cases. The Fairfax County Police Department's Fugitive Track and Apprehension Unit arrested Juan Alfaro Rodriguez of Herndon on Thursday evening at a business in the 1000 block of Eldon Street in Herndon. The 42-year-old man had an outstanding warrant for attempted rape and sexual assault for an incident that occurred in Suffolk County, New York. He was taken to the Adult Detention Center and held without bond. Detectives also believe that Alfaro Rodriguez was associated with a series of indecent exposures and assaults on and near the W&OD trail. Evidence developed in this case led detectives to obtain 3 warrants for indecent exposure for Alfaro Rodriguez. To include last night, our detectives obtained 2 more charges for an incident that occurred on August 18th. Our detectives are asking for any additional victims to come forward. We believe Alfaro Rodriguez may be involved in similar incidents dating back to July 15th, but we need your help. We believe there is information out there that could lead to additional charges. If you have any information that might help our investigation, please call 703-246-7800 and select option 3. Tips can also be submitted anonymously through our Crime Solvers tip line at 866-411-TIPS or 866-411-8477. Tipsters are eligible for rewards up to $1,000. I want to thank all of the community members that have provided information about Alfaro Rodriguez. I also want to thank our law enforcement partners in this investigation, including the U.S. Marshals and the town of Herndon. Officers in Fairfax County's Reston District Station, as well as those in our Violent Crimes Division, Criminal Investigations Division, Cyber and Forensics Bureau, and our Fugitive Track and Apprehension Unit, also worked hard to bring justice to every one of Alfaro Rodriguez's victims. Thank you, and with that, we will take any questions you may have.
Can you give us more details about the Suffolk County crime? When did that happen, and how long was he on the run for?
So that was approximately a year ago, and our detectives were able to establish that Alfaro had moved down here in approximately January of this year.
Did he have family here, any relatives?
We are not aware of any family members. He was living with an associate.
I know you said that some of these crimes goes back to like July 15th. Is there a point on if you know that Rodriguez was actually linked to all of those cases, or are you still trying to work through just the latest cases?
So that's a great question. So our detectives are working very hard with the town of Herndon detectives. They've been working as a great team. We do know that we have a series of suspicious events that began at the end of July, but when this really escalated and took a direction is when our detectives received some more validated descriptions and details about Alfaro Rodriguez. And that occurred about mid-August. Yes.
Yesterday we heard the Herndon police chief say that they have at least 8 cases possibly related just in the town of Herndon. How many are you guys looking at now in the county?
So I can tell you right now, we're looking at 13 cases total in the county of Fairfax.
Is that including the 8 in Herndon?
That does not include Herndon.
So we have 13 in the county plus 8 in the town of Herndon.
Yes.
Is there any idea of how the scope of all of this? Because now we have this New York case as well. Is there potentially other states involved? Are there, victims in other cities outside of Virginia?
So I'm not aware of any other cities outside, but I do know that right now he's facing charges for the Suffolk County, New York, as well as ours.
So will he be extradited back to New York before he has any charges brought against him here?
He has charges currently brought against him here. He will face those while he's pending extradition to New York.
Were all these attempted assaults, or did he actually end up raping someone in any of these cases?
There was no rape in these cases, but he did assault victims.
Any idea why? Motive? Anything?
We don't have that indication right now. Our detectives are still currently actively working this case to obtain all of that information.
Did he have any other priors besides these assaults? Was he known in the system for any other crimes?
He does have similar motives, like in New York, which is where the charges came from, and he does have an extensive history.
Did he resist when he was arrested, or how was that when that happened?
Our fugitive team took him down without any issues.
Can you explain a little bit more about the U.S. Marshals' involvement and when they first reached out to Fairfax County Police?
So we received a tip and a call from the U.S. Marshals last week. It was approximately on Thursday. That is when we received that, our fugitive team acted quickly, established that he was in Fairfax County and was in fact living here. Our fugitive team then went ahead and went forward and arrested him on the New York charges. And then it was a day later that we received a very good tip from a victim, which led us to arresting and charging Alfaro Rodriguez the following day.
How does it feel to know that you have someone off the streets who was committing these types of incidents?
It feels great because I know that our detectives work hard and they collaborate with. This is a good success story where we're collaborating with federal partners as well as our neighbor jurisdictions. And we know that we were all out there on the trail, handing out flyers, canvassing, talking to the community, and they were concerned. And it feels good for us to be able to say that you can feel safe again walking that path.
Do you remember the reaction from some of the victims?
I did not specifically speak with the victims.
The victim you were referring to, is that a local victim, the one who provided the tip that led to the arrest, or was that from the Suffolk County?
It was from Fairfax County.
Can you give us an idea on the victims? Were they all a particular age? Was there a specific trend, or was it just random?
At this time, the information that we have, it was just random people of opportunity along the path.
And I want to make sure this is the only suspect. You don't think there's someone else out there, because we did talk to people who live in the area who say they recall hearing something, or they have roommates who experienced something a couple months, maybe even a year or two back. So we're sure this is the one suspect. There's no one else you're looking for or think might be out there?
So this is the guy. This is who we're looking for. This is the one for this incident. What I can say is in talking with the community and why we ask, and it's very important to report these incidents, no matter how small they might feel it is. But we do learn that there are different things that people see when they're running on that path at various times during the day.
The 13 other incidents, those extend back to January when he arrived in the area?
No, sir, that's the end of July.
Okay.
Yes.
Were all victims police, were they all women or identified as women?
Yes. Yes, sir.
You mentioned that another charge. Can you just go over the current charges against the suspect?
So these, the three that were placed previously were for indecent liberties, and I believe the two last night were for the same thing.
Okay, so 5 indecent liberty charges.
5 total, and we're still working diligently with leads and other evidence that we have to close out potential other cases that were reported.
Is he cooperating with the investigation? Has he admitted to these assaults?
So I'm not going to get into statements that he gave, but our detectives are doing hard work. Any opportunity they have to speak with him and verify information, they will obtain that information.
What are the age ranges of his victims? Are they spread out, or are they
It's spread out.
Is the youngest victim 14?
So what I believe you're referring to was an incident that happened away from the trail in the Western District. So we did respond to that. We looked into that one very carefully. And we do not believe at this time that that one is associated, but we haven't completely ruled it out because we want to make sure that we're including everybody. All incidents that took place around that trail. Any other?
That's it? Great.
Thank you.
Wait, I just had a quick follow-up. So are you saying that that one is not connected yet because you haven't been able to link those two together, or that one to the rash of assaults?
So our initial response did not indicate specifically that that was linked. However, our detectives, they want to make sure they're doing a thorough job, so they don't rule it out just because they don't have anything to link it. So they're still doing hard work on that one and working with that victim to ensure a closure.
Well, thank you all so much for coming out today. We will be updating the information with our blog post, so please stay tuned to that, and you can follow us on all the social medias where we'll push that out at Fairfax County PD. And if you have any further questions, you can contact us directly. Thank you so much.